What up, what up, what up? Thank you for tuning in to the Swish Masters Podcast, and thank you to our sponsor, SS96. Visit ss96.net and use the promo code Swish Masters for 15% off. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. 15% off on all store items. Hats, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever you need, SS96 has it. Also, don't forget to go and check out that music from Straight Stoner, produced by yours truly. You know what it is, Gut Gang, mobbing, sleepwalking. We out here. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Swish Masters Podcast. I'm your co-host, QtheGuru.
Zay, the executive producer.
Zay,
you just saw a good game, man.
What you just say?
You saw a good game from the Warriors.
A good game
from the Warriors.
Man, this game was trash. This game was so bad. This game was over after Poole made a crazy shot.
Oh yeah.
Ever since then, but we definitely got to get into that game. What's up, y'all? We're gonna react to game 2. We're gonna talk about what the Warriors did to dominate. We're gonna talk about what went wrong for the Celtics, and we're also gonna pick our MVP for game 2. All right, let's go ahead and get into our initial reaction. So, as you all know, Warriors win game 2 as I predicted. No, we both predicted they would win. There's no way the Warriors would not win game 2, right? They win 107-88, and folks, it wasn't even that close. It was bad. The Warriors had a biggest lead up to like 30, at least 30. I believe it's 34. They took over. This is like the Warriors of old.
Oh yeah,
the Warriors
to wake up.
of 2016, whatever. That Warriors came to life today. So, initial reactions to game 2.
Like you said, man, I think we expected Warriors win for sure. Wasn't sure how dominant they would be, but this is a veteran, championship experienced team, and there was no doubt that they would come back and fight. So just overall for them, good game. Obviously, Chef Curry doing his thing. I think he dropped like 29 points, making some tough shots, great shots. Celtics just weren't able to, keep up offensively, and the Warriors made the right adjustments to their defense.
Yeah. Let me point out some key stats to y'all. So, the Warriors had a field goal percentage of 45%. A free throw percentage of 70%, which is uncharacteristic for the Warriors. Another key stat: they were actually equal from 3-point, 41% for each. They actually had the same amount of makes and attempts. They both went 15 for 37. Kind of crazy to think about based on how this game went, right? This is the key. This is where the game went wrong. The turnovers.
Yeah.
The turnover game. The Celtics committed 18 turnovers. 18.
Oh, yeah. I want to say they were like in double-digit turnovers in the first half.
They were. And that's the issue here.
Yeah.
They ended the game with 18. The Warriors had only 12 turnovers. The rebound battle was still kind of equal. We talked about that from game 1, right?
Yeah.
Key stat right here. The Warriors had 15 steals. 15 steals.
I don't know if that was the Celtics being super careless or if the Warriors were playing great defense, but I feel like it was more so just the Celtics making bad passes and, trying to get to the rim. And there were a lot of times I saw Tatum, Brown both going to the rim and try to pass it out and easily deflected pass. And next thing you know, the Warriors are, going downhill, trying to get into their offense.
Yeah. Interesting, too. The Warriors kind of strayed away from the motion offense we've seen them run a lot. They kind of went to more the pick and roll game. And you think the Celtics can defend that. But no, I'm going to drop against Steph Curry. I'm going to drop against everybody else. Wait, come on. Come on. That's the last thing you need to do. Play drop coverage against these three-point snipers they have.
Yeah.
So the defense is definitely concerning. It was interesting to see the Warriors play this way. Klay Thompson did not have a great of a game.
He did not.
He was still not the Klay Thompson that we all know he can be. He ended the game with 11 points, 4 of 19 shooting. Steph Curry. A lot of people argue he had a good night. He did from three-point land, 5 for 12, but 9 for 21, 29 points. I mean, he had a better performance in game 1. I can argue that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
He had some great shots in this game, too. That's Steph Curry. He have a great shot almost every game he plays. But overall, game-wise, I can make an argument he had a better game 1.
Efficiency and everything.
Right.
Yeah, I get that.
And the key difference for the Celtics is it's hard to win when the others don't come. Right? Al Horford returned 36, I believe, right? Man,
36 on Friday.
I don't know why I was like, man, you remember we thought about Chris Paul? It was like since he turned, it was like, man, ever since it's their birthday and they turned 30 whatever, it's like,
man, age isn't anything but a number, right?
Right now it seems like it's something because Al Horford seemed not himself tonight. I mean, he seemed not aggressive. He had Steph Curry on him, right? There was one play in the second quarter, I believe. Or was it third quarter? Third quarter. I think it was third quarter. Steph Curry is on him, right? He decides to become aggressive and make a move. He was a little hesitant to do it at first, right?
Yeah.
You get into the paint. You decide to make a pass. I don't know who you're going to pass to. The paint was clogged up. Al Horford did not look like himself tonight. I'm not sure who that was. That was not the Al Horford we saw from game 1. That's not even regular Al Horford. I thought Al Horford was just absent today. I mean, they made in the commentary they kept saying different things, like talking about his birthday, right? They're talking about, how he celebrated his birthday with his family and all that, which is cool. That's awesome. But I don't know, maybe he just did not look like himself. Whether it could be from partying or whatever. I don't know. Man, it's your birthday. Live it up. Live it up. But he was just definitely not himself. That's my early
turn up.
I don't know. That's my early reaction on them. We can get more into what went wrong for the Celtics here. We can get more in depth about what went right for the Warriors as well. But so who was your MVP for game 2? And
I'm gonna
a couple stand-up performances. We talked about Steph. right? Let's see if there's anyone else that's really complimented. Jordan Poole, of course. Shout out to Gary Payton returning.
Yeah,
Shout out to him.
for sure.
So Jordan Poole ended with 17 points. He was pretty efficient tonight. 5 of 9 from 3-point land. 6 of 14 overall from field. I mean, Kevin Looney had 12 points, made all his field goal attempts. Yeah, so who's your MVP for game 2?
I could go with the obvious choice with Steph, obviously having some great shots from three. A lot of guys that stepped up, regardless of like the individual MVP performance or, my choice. I think the big thing here, though, was energy. And for me, I don't, I'm usually not big on this person, but Draymond Green, to me, his energy, his statistics may not have matched like an MVP of the game type of player, but I think that what he brought to the table tonight was just having that type of intensity that they needed on defense, and that kind of forced the Celtics into a uncomfortable place. To me, that was the deciding factor when I look at the Celtics versus the Warriors, that the Warriors brought that intensity, which was fueled by Draymond. He got that tech earlier in the game, and from there on, he was just fired up. He kept going, kept getting into guys' faces, playing aggressive defense, which inspired the rest of the team to go out and play hard on defense. And they got all those steals, got those turnovers, and were able to convert that into points and everything. I think that Draymond's impact was huge. And obviously, Steph had a great game, but his impact can't be denied. Along with other guys like Wiggins, he might not have had a great scoring night, but he was aggressive as well. And he kept his foot on the gas, kept going after the boards. Him, Looney, everyone, just being a star in that role. Like Jordan Poole as well, coming in and bringing great energy. I think that was the difference in the Celtics versus the Warriors tonight. So Draymond, to me, should get it because I just go for the underdog. Steph was obviously magnificent with his shooting, at least. But that's my thought on the MVP of the game.
To be clear, who exactly was your pick?
Oh, I'm going with Draymond.
Okay, so let's stay on Draymond real quick.
Okay.
Draymond earned this one tech. We talked about that. There was another incident where, if we could argue, if this regular season, it would have been double tech. So Jaylen Brown is on the ground, right? No, yeah, he shot a three, got fouled for it by Draymond, right? Draymond collapses on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, as they're talking, whatever, it looks like some tussling a little bit. It's some tussling. But they did not address a penalty at all. I think a lot of people on NBA Twitter and in the NBA atmosphere is thinking, okay, that should be a tick. What are your thoughts on that? I could see how that could have been a tick. And if it was a tick, he would have been out the game. That probably would have changed the whole momentum for the game.
I 100% agree that would have changed the game if Draymond would have got his tech and got kicked out. And yeah, I mean, I think that they kind of gave him a pass there because honestly, like you said, he had already got his first tech earlier in the game. And then that happened. I'm like, okay, they're probably going to kick him out. And they didn't. So I was like, oh. So that really was a big difference to me tonight for the Warriors. And like I said, impacted the Celtics in a negative way because Draymond just kept being that agitating presence. And I definitely think that it really should have been probably would have been a double take if it wasn't the playoffs and if it wasn't Draymond too. That I feel like was a factor. But I agree. I think that without if he gets that tech, this game could be very much different.
Yeah, it would have been so different. And to remind the audience out there, you get a warning after your 5th technical foul. Once you get to 7, you're suspended the game. So with this, is this his 5th now? Or is this his, I believe this is his 5th, right?
I have to look, but he has gotten at least 3, I know, but probably is at his 5th. So run up that warning, and we still have many games to go in this series. So that could be that's something he has to be aware of and be careful about choosing. You got to choose your battles with the text.
Yeah.
When you're guys like Draymond.
And I could make an argument because he had a technical foul already. It's like that's the only reason he didn't get the other one. That's how I'm kind of feeling about it. And apparently that's how a lot of people feel online as well. Like if he didn't have that technical foul already, they would have issued it to him. And if that's the case, how is that fair? Jeff Van Gundy went on a little tangent about it a little bit. Mm-hmm. Right? And I was like, I see your point, Jeff Van Gundy. It's like, okay, you'll do that to a player who's not known for that. But for a player with that reputation, like Draymond Green, you don't do it. I don't know. And to be fair, that first knuckle foul he got, I'm not sure what he got that for. I mean, apparently he was talking though, and whatever it is, Tony Brothers, he don't play, so he gave it to him. So
get out of here with that. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's partially because he is who he is, and he's kind of known to be a guy that's chirping a lot during the game, and then 2. If he wouldn't have had a tech already, I think it's kind of like, the refs don't want to make it seem like, oh, this guy is always a problem. I'm going to give him a tech every single game, every single time he does something. Because you kind of have to let it be at some points in the game where it's like, oh, well, this is the playoffs. It's supposed to be a little bit more of a, not hostile environment, but more of a like competitive and jarring back and forth type of series, I guess. So I do think that if it weren't Draymond, and 2, if he hadn't have gotten a tech already, it could have went a different direction. But they didn't call anything on Jaylen Brown either. So I guess they're trying to let him play it out, but it's still probably a lot of Boston fans are upset about that because they're probably going to change the momentum of the game for the Celtics for sure.
Okay. Yeah, and just to be clear, he has 4 technical fouls.
Okay, so he has
one more to go. But if he got that one tonight, that would have been a warning. And to be fair, I think he should have got it. It should have been a double tech.
I think so.
It should have been a double tech. Like don't go into this spiel now of like picking and choosing. I mean, yeah, I agree, let them play, but fair is fair. And to be honest, it was like there were kind of a lot of little ticky-tack. I mean, there were consistent fouls in that first quarter. I'm like, all these fouls, man. And I feel like all those fouls just ruined the momentum for the Celtics. And again, they got to be more. Fouls, they got to be more responsible about that, and they should be accountable for that for sure. But
there was another thing that went wrong for them too is foul trouble with Marcus Smart. Like he got 4 fouls by at least the third quarter, and I was like, all right, well, and he only scored. I mean, obviously they're not looking for him to score a lot, but he has been pretty solid contribution on the offensive end. We know what he does on defense, but he just couldn't stay on the floor either.
Yeah. So getting back to the MVP. I almost want to say the refs, but I'm gonna actually choose the actual player.
Right.
Good point about Draymond Green because he is such an irritant, and they made comments about that throughout the game. With the Wired and the in-depth interviews talking about Draymond Green. So, yeah, he was definitely an influence on that end. But I'm gonna just go with Steph Curry because whenever the Boston made a run, Steph Curry went on these many runs by himself. That was either sparked by him or was greatly impacted by him. He went on a 5-0 run by himself out of a pause in play when the Celtics were teetering on a comeback. The Celtics tend to do that here and there.
Yeah.
And before that great shot by Jordan Poole from near half court, Steph really initiated a big part of that run.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
shout out to Steph for putting him away. So that's the reason I give him MVP of Game 2. They were killing him with that pick and roll. As Celtics, you got to do better. You got any other thoughts about the MVP of the game? Because I'm ready to get into it with Mark for the Celtics.
I can't argue against that. Steph was instrumental in them getting this win tonight, and he really was able to take advantage of how the defense played him, because they were dropping out of the pick and roll instead of being up high, because he's going to pull up. But shout out to Celtics. Shout out to Steph, and shout out to the Celtics, not defense, for allowing Steph to get the MVP too.
Yep. Shout out to the refs too. Not
Shout
giving
out
the
to the
dream.
refs.
That should have been double.
They really saved them for that.
They did. That should have been double technical.
Yeah.
No.
I agree.
No doubt. All right. So, what went wrong for the Celtics? Okay. First of all, Jason Tatum.
They really wasted a fairly decent Jason Tatum game, honestly. Like, the backup, Jaylen Brown was not.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown had to go in the first quarter. In the first quarter, he was doing it. He was doing his thing. But he just kind of... Jaylen Brown took a lot of questionable shots. To me.
Yeah.
If you don't have it going... One of the things to get yourself going is I like to do what he keeps doing. Is like going to the rack. And still going from there. Then maybe try, the turnaround jumpers or the step backs.
Yeah.
If you don't have it going, try to get an easy bucket first. That's technically the rule. Remember, you can't force it. Jason Tatum, he had a better game, true, but y'all, he played 34 minutes. Let me clarify. He played 34 minutes. And guess what? He had negative 36. Folks, that's not good. It's the worst. It's the worst of ever in his career. And again, plus minus tells a lot. So to explain plus minus again, when you're on the floor, it shows impact on your team based on scoring, basically. All right. When you're on the floor, how does your team perform? Right. Basically, it's like how much you outscore your opponent, or does your opponent outscore you? So that means when he was on the floor, total wise for the total game, it's negative 36. So again, plus minus is not the most important stat, but it is a stat that can tell you a story about a game. Like, although Jason Tatum had a good game, the negative 36 in 34 minutes, it's not good. It doesn't feel good. Because either way, even if you're on the floor, as Jason Tatum, you think you can mitigate some of that scoring by scoring yourself, right? So say an opponent scores 2 on you, you score 2 back, it'll be back to 0, So that means it was that bad. I hope that makes sense to y'all switchers. I know you know what it is, but trying to explain for the people that probably don't know. But that was bad. Negative 36 in 34 minutes.
Not gonna get it done.
Not at all. Let me just compare that to everybody else. For example, other starters: Jaylen Brown, minus 10. Al Horford, minus 15. Right? Jason Tatum had a worse plus minus. He's the only one in the 30s like that. No one else on his team is in negative 20s. The only person that was closest to that was White with negative 17. With minus 17. So that just tells you about the impact. So I don't know. It's not the most important stat in the world, but it says something. So part of the blame does go on Jason Tatum. He is the ultimate leader of the team. Although he was killing it from 3. 69 from 3. He was killing it.
I mean, he had a fairly decent scoring output. It just is that when you look at the plus minus and what the rest of the team's doing, in the first game, he really wasn't scoring well, but he had, 13 assists?
Yeah.
So the rest of the guys, it's important to still get the rest of your team involved. And tonight, no one really had it going outside of
Jaylen
Tatum for the most of the game and Jaylen Brown in the first quarter. But after that, he kind of like cooled off. Al Horford obviously only scored like 2 points. Marcus Smart only scored a few points due to foul trouble. Robert Williams was not a impactful player really on either end. He had maybe a block or 2, but no one else really was able to help with his plus minus. So therefore, he suffered. Even when he was scoring himself, it was just like after a 16-0 run by the Warriors, and then I made a 3, cut it to 10, but here they come again, and Steph scores or whoever's getting the basket. So it just didn't work out.
And this too, he had the most turnovers on his team. He had 4 of them.
Yeah, he did.
That leads to a terrible plus minus. All those turnovers. You remember the Celtics as a whole, they had 18. He was responsible for 4 of them. Also, when you miss your free throws, that can also lead to, a bad plus minus.
Yeah.
So
it was weird. Both teams missed free throws today.
They did, and the Warriors early on was missing bunnies in the layups.
Yeah.
So if you're the Celtics and the Warriors are missing all these shots, it's like I was thinking to myself, like, you should not be feeling good if you're the Celtics, if the Warriors are not making these shots at the rim, and they ended up coming back in the first quarter, and ultimately leaving and winning that first quarter. They won the first quarter like 31-30. But they were trailing most of the first quarter.
Yeah. Missing
those layups. So, yeah, that was. If you're the Celtics, I'm not feeling good about that. It was. Yeah. It was bad. And the story of the game is in that third quarter. The Warriors outscored the Celtics 35-14 in that quarter. So. That's when we meet my classic Warriors. That's classic Warriors. They just blow you out in the third quarter and just don't look back.
Third quarter run.
And I do not like how Boston responded in the fourth. How do you start in the fourth quarter with like 2 turnovers? And after that, Ime Udoka called timeout. He was like, all right, that's it. That's it.
I think they knew it was over after that third quarter. Like.
They did, but the effort in the fourth tells you, okay, should I take my guys out? And after that effort in the fourth, I was like, yeah, go and take them out.
Yeah.
Because that was terrible. And there were some bad turnovers, too. It's a difference between a first turnover and like a stupid one. Like, you can't help if a guy steals the ball, right? But if you make it just a stupid pass for no reason,
a lazy pass.
A lazy pass, too, yeah.
Yeah.
That could have been avoided. Those are some of the worst turnovers.
For sure.
Yeah, the Celtics were, I don't know. It could have been, I think they had a chance to win game 2, although I predicted they would lose. But I was hoping at least it'd be a more competitive game. And since they lose like this, you can argue that the Warriors have all the momentum going into game 3. However, if you're the Celtics, you can also say, hey, we didn't play our best game. We're going home. We already stole one. So if you're the Celtics, you're happy about that.
Yeah, you got to bounce back. Obviously, take this game with a grain of salt, study the film. You got a few days to practice, recover, get ready for, your home court advantage now. You're the home team, so want to take care of business, recenter, reset.
Yeah.
But Yeah, man. It was cool to see the classic third quarter run. Even though I just hope Clay's able to get right. He hadn't really had a big impact on the game yet.
Offensively or defensively, he's not himself yet. But hopefully he'll get back to that point. Because we're NBA fans, although I don't want to see his dynasty again, I do wish the best for the players. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think I think he just forcing it. Like a lot of one of those shots I saw, like Looney run down the ball in the corner, and Clay came across, turn around,
I saw that
fade away going right on the three.
that.
I'm like, all right, you didn't need that shot, but
right.
I get it. He's got to get the shot. So if he 3 years worth of time that he's missed, so he's got to make up for everything he didn't get to shoot.
Yeah. Either way, he's still a threat. You still have to respect him from the three.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'm glad. I'm happy with the adjustment he made. Instead of settling, he decided to drive into the paint, and that created opportunities for other shooters. So, good adjustment by them.
They still play overall good team basketball, keeping the ball moving.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and just a word of caution to the Warriors: do not fall in love with that pick and roll again. Like, it worked today, but most of the time with how the Celtics defend and how they can easily switch, don't fall in love with the pick and roll. But however, if they do it early and find out it's working and they're defending the same way for whatever dumb reason, y'all want to make it work. But I believe the Celtics will come out and not do that.
Yeah.
Right?
I think they'll make the adjustments. But I think I did say before that Steph, if they run the pick and roll and they're able to get a big man on Steph, it's gonna be hard for that guy to keep up with him. Like we saw with Robert Williams, we saw that with Al Horford. It was really, even when if Steph didn't drive to the basket, he was getting a step back because he just needs a little bit of separation, and it's hard to anticipate his dribble move. Like if he's gonna sidestep, crossover, or if he's gonna hesitate and go to the rim. So it was good to see that, but like you said, I think the Celtics make the adjustment next game. The Warriors have to also keep in mind and get other guys going. It was good to see a lot of guys in the rotation too. So I hope both teams make an adjustment. I just want to see a good game like you.
Yeah, and Iguodala could. I know he was out tonight. He could return at some point too. Because remember, they have some days off.
Yeah.
So he could come back. So let's go ahead and anything else about what went wrong for the Celtics? I think I said my piece. I talked about the turnovers, how they were trash. Shot selection was poor at times. And it was just really the turnovers. It was just so bad. So bad. And some of the lack of effort. Draymond was putting it on, which is your MVP, appropriately, for bringing that intensity and that energy and talking all that smack, and it worked. So
yeah. I think the Celtics just have to match that type of energy. It seems like they were more so of, we're just gonna come in and play, but Draymond was I'm gonna get at you. They have to match that type of energy, and the effort, because I feel like that's the difference. Like if they play with a little bit more intensity, a little more effort, going after more rebounds, and chasing after the ball and stuff like that, that makes a difference in the game. And they may not have won the game still, but they would have not been. The gap wouldn't have been so big. They could have closed it a little bit more.
Do you think that has to do with, like, they already won game one, so it's like, you think that has anything to do with it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the teams can get a little lax, and we got one. That's what we were going for, and we can do the same thing, or we can just play the same way. But like I said, the Warriors, well, specifically Draymond, came with the mindset of, I'm gonna make it hard for these guys in all aspects of the game. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna be in your face. I'm going to be physical on defense, etc. And I don't think the Celtics players made the adjustment to that. So I do feel like, yeah, the game one performance was like, oh, yeah, we won, riding off of that. But you can't really expect it to go the same way as the next game.
Definitely, especially considering the circumstances of that first game and how they came back.
Yeah.
You know, this is still the Warriors. That's not typical.
You've got to keep your foot on the gas.
Got to.
Especially in the finals of all stages. The finals is where everything can be whatever at this point.
Yeah, and I really think they had a good chance in that first quarter. You know, to really.
They came out great.
They did. It's just. Yeah. I'm sure Boston will bounce back. With that being said, let's go ahead and make our predictions for Game 3. You guys already know how the series is going. Right now, the Celtics have home court advantage. In order to keep it, they have to win at least these 2 games. So, all right, Zay, your prediction for Game 3?
I think that first game in Boston is going to be very loud. Boston fans will be hyped to be back in the finals after, what's it been, 14? No, well, not that long. Maybe.
No, not that long, because
at least 12 years. I'm trying to see. They went back in 2010, whatever it was. It's been over a decade since the Celtics have been back in the finals. So I think it'll be an exciting atmosphere. I think the Celtics will ride that energy, that wave, and I think they can at least get the Game 3. I think the Celtics will take that one.
Okay. So, let me read a quote as well. So, this is Al Horford. He said, a reporter asked if Draymond Green impacted the game in Game 2. Al Horford said, no impact. We're not worried about him. So, I guess, hopefully Al takes this game. He's also talking about how they play him differently and how he needs to be more impactful. So, that's the thing. I believe the others will do better. And to be in a crowd like Boston, these Boston's fans are out here. And like you said, they had been in the finals since like 2010. It was 2010.
Yeah.
That Game 7 with Kobe, Lakers and Celtics. Classic, good game, man. So, yeah, I think Boston is going to win as well. This could potentially be a blowout. It could. I think it could almost go like it did today. Close, but then a blowout. I won't say, did I predict that right too today? I think I did. I don't know if I predicted blowout though today, but I don't know. I've been pretty good with my predictions so far though, so it could be like this. And I also said a player would have a good game. I don't think a player from the Warriors had an outstanding game like I predicted though, except if you say Jordan Poole, I guess. But either way, Game 3, I'm predicting the Celtics will win. I think everybody to contribute. It's going to be a dominant performance, especially probably late in the game, probably third quarter on. It'll be a blowout. So that's my prediction.
I'm looking for Jaylen Brown to have a big, impactful game, and
from start to finish. Start to finish, because he started out great in the first quarter in Game 2. He played decently in Game 1. He had Jason Tatum's back in Game 1 too. So
yeah, for sure. And I think like you said, the role players play better at home. So I expect Derek White to have good energy coming off the bench, and Pritchard and all those guys, Grant Williams,
Al Horford.
Yeah,
he has to
I think they'll all have a better Game 3.
Yeah.
But I'm not counting out the Warriors. I want to see a good game. I hope Clay goes off. That's what I'm just waiting on. I'm waiting for an eruption.
I don't think that's gonna come until later. I don't think it's gonna be the next game. I think they'll come later though.
I'm just anticipating it. Whenever it comes, I'm just ready for it.
They're gonna have at least one of those games this series. It's not yet. So yeah,
Sure.
y'all. That's our predictions. So make sure you tune into the finals. Game 3, which is
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. Thank you. All right, Wednesday night. So y'all check that out.
Man, it's so funny. Who did I see on Twitter? I think it was Famous Looks. He was like, man, these finals playing one game a week. It's weird. Like the day spread is a little longer than you would expect, but I think it'll be fine. Game 3 Wednesday, Game 4 Friday, then the Game 5 would be like that Monday. So
yeah, that's basically how it's going. We'll see how it goes. So y'all will see you guys after Game 3. We'll see if our predictions are correct. I mean, we're the same this time, so we'll see how it goes.
gotta ride the Guru wave, man.
But you still go for the Warriors overall, though, right?
Oh yeah. I think the Warriors. Like I said, I'm not rooting for either team because my team lost to Boston. Golden State obviously has been dynasty mode and everything. So whoever wins. But at the end of the day, I do think the Warriors championship pedigree will overtake the young Celtics, man.
Yeah.
I just think that's what it is, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you. All right. So thank y'all for tuning in to Swish Masters Podcast. Check us out on YouTube and all your podcasts and platforms. Check out our website. The link is on our YouTube as well. If you have any business inquiries, that's in the link as well. Check the description. It has all that stuff there as well. So, yeah. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Turn that notification bell on for when we drop new videos. A lot of new content coming, loading, as well as Spotify, Anchor, all the podcast platforms. Be sure to follow us. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you after Game 3.
All right. Peace.
What up? Thank you for tuning in to the Swish Masters Podcast, and thank you to our sponsor, SS96. Visit ss96.net and use the promo code Swish Masters for 15% off. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. 15% off on all store items. Hats, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever you need, SS96 has it. Also, don't forget to go and check out that music from Straight Stoner, produced by yours truly. You know what it is, Gut Gang, mobbing, sleepwalking. We out here. Thank you.